Welcome to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network with your hostess, Jen Josie. Join like-minded real estate investors and accelerate your business towards greatness. You will hear step-by-step strategies for success, interviews with real estate rock stars, and we will dig deep into past projects where we bear it all, including the good, the bad, and some just plain ugly. So get excited. Here's the bestower of badassery herself, the real Jen Josie. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Jen Josie, creator of RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Whoop, whoop! On today's episode, we have a guest that will be sharing their badassery. But before we begin, here's today's badassery bestowment, my little badass gift to you. Today's topic is set process goals instead of outcome goals. So, if you're having trouble reaching some of your goals, try to change it up a bit. Successful people with a growth mindset focus on the process instead of the outcome. An example of an outcome goal would be, I want to lose 20 pounds in 12 weeks. Instead, give yourself some daily process goals that will contribute to losing weight. A process goal would be, I will exercise for 30 minutes a day. In your investment business, a goal may be to get more properties to flip. Instead of saying, I will flip 12 properties this year, say, I will evaluate 10 properties and submit one offer a week. By shifting to processes, you may consciously choose a path in which hard work, effort, and persistence will be the key to success. Now, on to today's episode of the Real Estate Investor Growth Network podcast. We have with us a total badass and my new best friend. She is a badass in the design world. And man, when I heard she was a designer, I kept wanting to pick her brain, and she is going to fix my bathroom for me. Yes, she will. So welcome to the show, Amanda Williams.
Hi, Jen. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here with you today.
And we just met recently in the Dominican Republic at a mastermind with our boy, Austin Rutherford. Shout out to Austin. Talk to me. Welcome, and tell the audience where you're from. Give us a little background.
Yeah. So again, my name is Amanda Williams, and I own Mission Design and Staging, and then also Mission Stays. I am originally from Arkansas. My mom was a radio DJ. My dad was a truck driver, and they met there. My dad is from the South, Alabama, Mississippi. So we've kind of popped around a little bit of everywhere, but ended up back in Dayton, where my mom's from. I went to high school, college there, and then moved to Columbus as soon as I graduated college.
Your mom was a radio DJ?
Yeah, isn't that cool?
So cool. And, you know, like my mother's like, what's a podcast? I'm like, just think of like a radio show. And so,
yeah.
And here your mom is a radio DJ. I am popping your podcast cherry. So I am so lucky.
I know. So she did that before I was born, right? And then she had a radio spot in Arkansas, and work took her there. And then my dad drove a truck for Dole Banana, and they kind of met in the middle at a radio spot. I think probably some club that she had a weekly spot at, and the rest is history.
That is awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it's fun.
So I interviewed one of your friends, Misty Lynn, and I have known Misty for a few years and was watching all of her projects and everything, and come to find out you are the badassery behind a lot of that with all those design features. So how did you get into the design world?
So I've always been interested in design, even growing up. I mean, my parents let me be super creative. I even had a house we lived in where they let me make my own wallpaper. I was always helping out, designing the house. My sister and brothers, they make fun of me, call me Martha Stewart, even down to decorating the Christmas tree. Like after they would decorate the Christmas tree, I would redecorate the Christmas tree. So it's just always kind of been in my blood. I was in dance in college. And when I finished that, I started working with the elite gymnastics circuit, and I ran a gymnastics facility. And then once I got burnout on that, I decided it was time to change my career. I ended up in kitchen and baths, working for Granite Transformations. I also designed dental offices. And then I worked for a plumbing company, selling commercial plumbing pretty much. And then I decided it was time to open my own design studio.
So did you do this before you met Misty?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
So I've been flipping houses for myself for a while, and I have a female-owned construction company that I partnered with on my personal flips, and they just kind of said, hey, we really like working with you. Would you be interested in designing for us? And because I liked it, I said, yeah, I could do that a little bit on the side while I'm in full-time plumbing sales. And it just kind of evolved really big, and had to let go of the plumbing sales so I could make this work and really, really push forward with it.
So I love that it was a women-owned construction company. So let's touch base on that. Why is that important to you?
I just feel like, I was raised pretty conservative, and I think a lot of times as women, our talents are downplayed. I always wanted to play football, and I was like, girls can't play football. And I just think that I was told can't enough, that I think it's super important that women showcase our abilities and our talents, and we step up and say we're just as badass, if not more, and we can play in the same arena all day long. So when I started my business, it was really important to me to partner with female contractors, female realtors, female investors, female small business owners in general, and just kind of elevate all the women in my life.
I love that. Amen, sister. I knew you were a total badass, but that just makes you even more of a badass in my book. So, and as you're saying this, I have one handy woman in my business, and Mary, she is a total badass, and it hangs just as well with the guys. So I love it, love it, love it. Yep. So you said the name of your company is Mission. What is that all about?
Yeah. So I actually really struggled when time came to pick a name. I struggled pretty hard.
Names are so hard.
Yes, I am very creative, but when it comes to something marketable, I really struggled. And so we actually went almost a year without a name. And I kept going back and forth. I had a lot of ideas. A lot of things were super cliche. But one thing that's always been super important to me is giving back to my community. And, when I said I wanted to start this business, I absolutely was not going to start this business unless a portion of what I bring in and what I do goes back into my community. So I started to think about that, and I thought, what makes sense? Why would this work? How can I tell people what I'm trying to do? And so we kind of came up with Mission Design and Staging, because we are on a mission not only to change our community, but to give back to our community and help it grow. So that's where that came from.
So what specifically? I remember we had a conversation. The Super Bowl was on, but did we give a shit? No.
Yeah,
we were having drinks.
I do love football, but the Browns didn't make it, so I didn't care.
So we were having full-on conversation about design and everything while this was going on, but you had mentioned that the mission part of it goes back to people who have aged out of the, the foster care system?
Yeah.
So what happens after that whole thing, and how do you help them?
Yeah, so there's a group here in Columbus, Ohio called KYC, Kaleidoscope Youth Center. It's a drop-in center, and it's actually LGBTQIA based. But what we're learning is that a lot of those kids who are a part of that drop-in center are from the homeless community, or they've been kicked out of their house for being LGBTQIA. And at the end of the day, when they're 18, all of those housing opportunities, those benefits go away, and they just walk away with the trash bag of clothes that they've kind of carried around. and sometimes go into homeless camp or other places. So what we've done as a staging company who has an excess amount of furniture because of my shopping habits, we decided to partner with them. And as those kids age out of the system, we work with them to help find affordable housing that is paid for by grants. So these kids are usually between the ages of 17 and 21. They've never had their own bed, never had a dresser, a TV, a couch. So we find these affordable homes and we go in and we literally load it up, from shower curtains and toothbrush to a Keurig, pots and pans, just anything that you would need in an apartment that would be really hard to come by if you've never even had one item. So those kids can move right in, they can start going to school, they can start working on all the things that they need to be a full functioning human in our community, without having the worry of, am I going to find a bed? Am I going to have a couch? Do I have to watch TV on my phone?
I love that. And you just kind of glazed over an important part of your business here is, I mean, yes, you do design, but you also do staging. So this is like furniture so this has got to be nice furniture, because we just sold a house. It went under contract Monday. And so now we have to have our stagers take the furniture out. But when they were putting that furniture in, I was like, I like this. And, like one house they did had a green, like an emerald green velvet chunky chair. And I was like, so as I'm designing my new house, like I have to have
that chair.
I have to have a emerald green velvet chunky chair. So it's been like everything is centered on this chair. So, so this is pretty nice furniture you're putting in these houses then.
Yeah, it looks pretty cute when we get done. And, sometimes I really like to antique and thrift. So sometimes I find like fun, funky pieces. I think my favorite part about it is these kids are young, right? And so nothing has to be picture perfect. It can be really fun. So we've done some things where we partnered with local artists, brought them in to do some installments, some just fun, hip stuff in these houses. I just want them to move in and feel really good about the next chapter of their life.
That's such a blessing for them. And I love that you do that. I love it. So your business, and again, we're going to get more into the design stuff here in a second, but you also work with investors. So people who listen to the show, they're either want to be investors, they're starting out in the investment world, or they've been investing and flipping houses. They flip 100 houses a year. What is a good reason for them to start working with a designer like you?
Sure. So really kind of how I ended up working with investors is a funny story. Misty Lynn is a well-known realtor here, and I partnered with her on this staging piece. And actually, I didn't even start full time. I just had this furniture addiction, a small collection. And we talked and she said, hey, when my stager is too busy or too overwhelmed, if you want to jump in. And so she gave me the opportunity to do so, and just started really small. And as I kept going, noticing some things in the houses that are being flipped that people may have overlooked, some wasted space, some missed opportunity on cohesive light fixtures, or maybe the outside felt different. And then when you walked inside, you got a whole different vibe. And it just kind of started to bother me a little bit, right? And so I really started thinking, how can I take my design business where I'm working with in-home clients and then this staging thing and make these houses feel better for everybody? I don't want these houses to feel like a flip house, right? Because now my furniture is in there and it's part of my portfolio. People think I've designed this house and I really just need it to flow better. So I reached back out to Misty and we started having conversations about what that looks like. And then I realized that investors are literally doing everything, right? They're raising their own money. They are finding their realtor. They are picking out paint colors, faucets. They're running to Lowe's. They're trusting their contractors. And then at the end of the day, they're trying to just get this house sold as quick as possible, worrying about interest, worrying if they're going to hold it, sell it, whatever. And so it just got my wheels turning. And I thought, how can we take the burden off of these people who really are just here to make money, and they don't need to do all these extra little things.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but I think about who we were with at this mastermind, and it was all young men who have not a design bone in their body, and
Right.
like they will do the same thing over and over and over again because that's just what they know. So then you step in and add this creativity, and I bet it just works wonders. So continue.
Yeah, so the first thing that happened is everything looked the same, right? Everybody had a gray wall and a gray weathered floor and brushed nickel fixtures, and everything came from a big box store, and nobody's house looked different. So as a buyer, I'm going in and I'm thinking the only thing that's different is the staging furniture. But once that's removed, what do I do? So I partnered with Misty, and Misty was kind of the only one that was getting it, right? Like she was a little bit ahead of the curve, but she was so busy that she could only do so much. And I just said, pretty much pitched myself and said, let me elevate your business and let me take this off your hands for your investors, and let's create like a full portfolio. And so that's what we started doing. The other thing that happened during that time is the city of Columbus stopped taking handwritten plans for residential. And so they almost were trying to force every contractor to go through an architect. Well, we're having a big boom here in Columbus. And so every architect is pushed out so many weeks.
Yes, I know that feeling. Yes.
Yeah. And as an investor, your time is money. You're paying interest daily. So Misty called me again and said, this is what the city's doing. What can we do? And so I kind of found some ways around and realized, hey, my floor plan software is really all they need. It just has to be digital. It doesn't have to be done through an architect. And I started doing floor plans for investors. The best part about that is now we work on full city permit sets for the investors, which goes hand in hand with our tax abatement program, and a good blueprint for all of their contractors to work with.
All right. So you are a one-stop shop where now the investor can come to you and say, this is what I want. So honestly, this is what I tell my designer. I say, I want you to think about the woman coming into the house with all the bags of groceries piled on her arms because she's too lazy to take 2 trips to the car, how she gets in the house, where she's going to drop off her purse and the groceries and all that fun stuff. So that's a requirement, is that it's easy to get to the kitchen to drop off groceries. Another requirement is that the hall bath for the kids, I want the shitter and the shower to be separate from the sinks. So I want either like a door in between so that if someone is taking a shower, brother's taking a shower, sister can still go and brush her teeth. And the third and most important thing is I require a wine fridge. I mean, that's like, so how is that when an investor comes to you, what works best? Do you take their ideas and run with it, or do you want someone to have all the ideas, or how does that work? What's best for you?
So we really cater to our investors. We can do literally anything they want. And the reason that's so important is because, especially in Columbus, we have different parts of the city, right? We have parts that are up and coming. We have parts that are very expensive. And so some of my investors want to take a place and hold it. They might want to sell it later. They might want it to be an Airbnb. They might want it to be a rental. And we literally encompass all of those things for them. So we're kind of an a la carte service. If you need a floor plan, I can just do a floor plan for you. You just tell me, like you just said, Jen, the things that are important to you, and I can put the floor plan together. If you want me to pick out your paint colors and your tiles and all of those things, I can do that as well. If you want me to purchase those things, have them delivered to the job site, I can do that as well. And then at the end of the day, if we're selling, then we're staging. And if we're not selling, then we talk about, is this a rental? Do we put it on our property management side? Or is this an Airbnb? And we Airbnb it either while it's on the market, so you're making money while it's on the market,
nice.
Or you're going to hold it and Airbnb it to make some money until you're ready to throw it on the market.
Okay. So one of my favorite things when we were talking while the Super Bowl was playing is about functional design. And I was like, yes, because like I said, I like to make sure that my people know I want them to think about the woman carrying the groceries in. So tell me some things that most people like overlook, like what's important to deal with functional design.
Sure.
And then we're going to talk about my bathroom. Okay.
I think the most important thing is second floor laundry. So either second floor laundry or laundry super close to the master bedroom. The days of us going to the basement, switching out the laundry, throwing it on the couch, then someone knocks on the door, and you have a couch full of laundry. We want those days to be over. We want to keep your laundry room in your bedroom space so that those clothes never touch your living space. The other thing, and everyone makes fun of me for this, but I love a pantry.
Okay. I don't have a pantry right now. I'm getting a pantry in the new house. So tell me, and I've been fine where it is because I'm really not a cook, but tell me the importance of a pantry.
So, a pantry is a space where all of your food resides, right? And your mixers and your big appliances. But I think, cabinetry is expensive. And before we would spend so much money on these elaborate cabinetry designs, and then you have 30 cabinets and you have stuff shoved in every cabinet, where we can make a really functional space that creates seating and everyone is communal, and your food storage is set away from those kitchen areas in a closet where you can go. It's kind of like a grocery store, a one-stop shop.
So it's cheaper to have a pantry then?
I think so, yes.
Okay. All right. So we touched on the kitchen, the laundry room. Let's go to Jen's bathroom. So
Jen's bathroom.
when I designed this house, and again, I'm like, I have a shit ton of shoes. Like, it's ridiculous. So my closet is just obnoxious and I want a wall of shoes. I don't care. So next to that is this bathroom. And I had the hardest time with the bathroom. And the people who we're working with, shout out to my Kent Butters, by the way. How about that name? And Destiny. So they moved. I had the shitter, as I call it. I'm sure that we'll call it water closet. Is that the proper term? Okay. So the water closet had a wall with our bathroom or with our bedroom. And so they actually moved it further away. And I was like, oh, that was really smart. So, and then I want a shower that is the kind that no entry. Is that what it's just I don't want a door because I hate paying for doors in the houses that we rehab. I just it's an excessive amount of glass. Number one, that has to be cleaned. And just to put it in there, I'm like, let me just do a walk-in shower. So talk to me. Do you remember my bathroom? Because
I remember your bathroom.
I have the lower cabinets, and I do have a vanity, which is something like excessive for me. So I'm excited about my vanity.
Yeah.
But I really don't have, right now I have a closet to throw my towels and stuff in, or just throw shit out of the way. So talk to me.
So I think that a linen closet is super important, right? I also think in today's living, back in the day, we had a lot of stay-at-home wives, husbands went to work, blah, blah, blah. But now we're all business professionals across the board. We have households where husbands, wives, wives and wives, husbands and husbands, they're all going to work, different hours, different schedules. And so I think it's super important to have your bathroom be your get ready space, right? So if I leave the bed and my partner's still in bed, I can go into the bathroom, access the closet, access everything I need without running back and forth to my dresser, to my vanity, and waking them up 100 times. So I think that's super convenient. I also love a secret passageway from the closet to the bathroom to a laundry room. If possible. That way your dirty clothes area never leaves that part of your master.
So we did put in a laundry chute to our laundry room.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And not every house is going to allow for that. But if I can put the closet in the bathroom, bonus points. And then I love a separate linen closet because nobody wants your towels by your shirts, right?
Right.
And I know that people can't see me, but I have a massive amount of really large curly hair. And that for me takes a massive amount of beauty products and hair supplies. So I think that linen closet, just like a pantry, it's your one-stop shop. It's where you hide all of your things. I think it's super important. But I agree with you on the shower entry. I love that. Love, love, love that. And I also love a wet room where the tub is in the shower.
Oh, see, I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
So I have a standalone tub that we've designed to be under like a half moon windowed, and and no one can see in there because there's nothing behind the house. But yeah, I didn't know how to feel, and been seeing that. So why is that a good thing?
Well, so we all agree, right? A standalone bathtub is not only relaxing, but it's sexy. And
Mm.
if there's water spillage, it just goes down the drain. So I don't know. I just think it's a really fun space to keep all of your water contained in one spot. Your tub can overflow. You can have it as deep as you want. It can be to your neck. And instead of having that overflow drain, it can just go down the shower drain.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
like that. I like that a lot. All right, so I need to add a linen closet in my bathroom. And you said like my shower was 6 feet, and you said that was just way too long.
I mean, it's long.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Do you need dual shower heads?
No, I don't want dual shower
Okay.
heads. Shower time is my time. Sorry, Vance.
Sorry, Vance. So shower time is your time. And when you have two shower heads, and I'm speaking from someone who lives in Ohio, right? It's freaking cold here, Josie.
Yeah.
It's cold. So I don't want my shower to be 6 feet if I have one shower head, because the rest of that shower is going to be a freezing cold situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I would rather use that for a linen closet or some functional space that I really can like hide some things, versus the end of your shower that you're never going to step into because there's no hot water touching your body.
Perfect. I love it. I'm on it. I know exactly where my linen closet is going to go now. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. So I did a badassery bestowment at the beginning. And do you have a badassery bestowment that you would like to share with some real estate investors listening in?
Well, yeah, I think, adding a designer to your team not only creates functional space, cohesiveness, from the time that you pull up to the house to the time you walk out the back door. Those things are so important to a buyer. And when you have a designer that can come in and take those things off your plate, your numbers are just going to continue to rise. Your closings are going to rise, your interest, your house showings, your name. And I will say, since we've started working with Misty, I feel like things have just grown and grown and grown year over year. And it's been really awesome. When we go to places like our mastermind with Austin, everybody gets together, and what they say is like, we see your name everywhere. You guys are everywhere, because now people are calling us and they say, you guys own the market. We need you in here. It's just catching on like wildfire. It's awesome.
Well, I think that's fantastic. I have really enjoyed working with the designer, and they've done 2 properties for us now. And the second one, like, they did the design and I was like, oh, approved. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, because you listened to what I said, what I wanted. And it was just like that easy, because, we got one out of the way where I'm like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Lots of changes. And plus it was my own house. Which now I have to go back and say, I need a damn linen closet in my bathroom, so make it work. So what are some designer do's for that's going to make someone's property stand out?
Sure. So we're kind of going back to neutrals. And when I say neutrals, I mean gray's on the way out. And we're going back to whites and beige and caramels. So one thing that's really awesome right now is just a good white wall.
I'm doing white.
Yeah, so you cannot go wrong with a white wall. And then you add your pops of color in your pillows, your rugs, your lampshades, even
your green velvet chairs.
Green velvet chairs. Yeah. But everything is very neutral. And then I would say the other thing is kind of just what I said before, that the outside needs to match the inside, needs to match the bathroom, needs to match the closet. You walk in, you pull up, and you want everything to feel like one cohesive piece. So those days, which I remember when I had my first house, right, every room was a different color. I was like, the living room's green and my office is yellow and the bedroom's brown, and there's always red. There was always a red wall somewhere. But those days are over. Those big pops of color now come in furniture, pillows, rugs, and everything else is just a nice, clean, cohesive palette. And if you're going to pop a color, it goes on the front door.
Okay. And what about cabinets? Because I see a lot of people doing like navy cabinets now.
Yeah, so navy is something that I think is kind of on the cusp. It's starting to go out. Actually, wood grains are coming back in.
Ooh.
And then I personally just did a black cabinet.
So I want to do a black and white kitchen. I think I'm just going to do white. Yeah, I just want white cabinets and white countertops. I know that's boring, but I want to go crazy with the backsplash because I figured in 3 years when I get bored, I can swap out the backsplash for much cheaper.
That's true. And when I talk to my design clients, one thing I always ask them is, what do you want to be the star of the show, right? Do you want your backsplash to be the star of the show? Is it your countertop or is it your floor? When you walk in, what do you want to catch people's eye?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the backsplash for me because I feel like that's the most inexpensive thing that I can swap out, when I change my mind 10 times in the next 5 years. So
I would agree.
Okay.
Either that or the countertops. Okay. You could go with a bold granite and keep a white subway tile. And then in a few years when that granite goes out of style, that's just a couple grand to rip out, redo.
That's true as well. One of my biggest pet peeves is people that do like these crazy granites and very grainy and multicolored. And then they have like crazy multicolored backsplash. I'm like, no. So I'm so glad you said white subway when you have a crazy countertop. So
yeah, or you can do different shapes. It just needs to sit back if you have a crazy countertop. Now, me personally, I did black cabinets with a stark white quartz countertop. So I'm looking for a backsplash that's a little more interesting, right? Because I want that to be the star of the show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, what about barn doors? Are they out? Please tell me they're out. Oh my God. I can't stand a barn door. I can't. Yeah. Like, especially on the bathroom. Like, who wants to hear those noises? It's like, because they do not conceal anything.
Yeah. The only time now that I do barn doors, especially during COVID, we have a situation where everyone's working from home. And so I have a lot of clients that have brought me in and we're getting creative on how we can make multiple home offices or home workstations or a home office for a mom that overlooks a home workstation, but she can take some barn doors and close when she's on a conference call or a podcast or So that's the only time now I'll use a barn door is if I'm just doing like a partitioning type of a thing.
Awesome. Okay. My last question, farm sinks. Are they going? Or are they here to stay?
I don't know that they're here to stay. I don't necessarily think they're going either.
Okay.
I have a lot of clients that want them right now and they come in all different types, right? So before you say farm sink, you're getting a white porcelain farm sink. Now, I have a client right now who bought black appliances and we're doing a black stainless farm sink. I actually also have one that is someone doing a filming kitchen for cookie baking. Oh. So we're doing pink cabinets and they're doing a gold apron front sink. So
that actually sounds quite fascinating.
It's very fascinating.
Wow. Okay, I do have one more question. Shiplap. Tell me no more shiplap.
I wish I could tell you no more shiplap, but it's just that shiplap is changing. Okay. So instead of traditional, shiplap, horizontal, white, we're actually going vertical. We're painting it matte black. We're making it a little more modern. So it's kind of like straddling paneling.
Okay.
Shiplap.
So this property we just acquired that has, the wood paneling, I can be like, this is modern day shiplap.
It's true. So we actually, I'll send you the listing when we get off here. We did a house that just went into contract yesterday, and the upstairs was kind of a Cape Cod, and the upstairs was all this like horrid paneling. And we just took one of my most favorite colors, Urbane Bronze, and we painted it super dark. So the whole upstairs is this really bronzy grayish tone, and it made everything look like shiplap, and it was just old paneling.
Wow, that is awesome.
Boob lights, called it today.
You call them boob lights? They're titty lights in North Carolina.
Oh, boob lights in Ohio here, yes.
Okay. And I did have a contractor that used to say boob lights. I'm like, it's titty lights. He's
Titty
like,
lights.
Jen, I don't think I can say titty in front of you. Like you just did. So, all right. So I love that everything about your mission company. What if some of my listeners want to contribute? Do you take...
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, do you take donations or anything like that? Have you thought about that?
Yes, so actually, I have been working with a consultant on a lot of things, speaking of goal setting as well. So my consultant is helping me with inventory systems and all kinds of that stuff. But we decided we're going to start a non-private sector of our business. Or sorry, what did I just say? Non-private? That's not
non-public.
Non-what?
Non-profit. I can't even get the word right.
It's Friday. I'm tired. We're going to start a nonprofit division. So Mission will actually soon become an additional nonprofit. And then the good news is those portions of things we're donating will move over to the nonprofit, and people will be able to donate or jump in and help me a lot easier.
I love it. That is so fantastic. Thank you for doing that. And giving back to the community is so important because, investors and real estate people, sometimes get a bad rep of, taking people's money. And so I love that you are giving back to the community. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks.
So the second half of my podcast is what makes you a badass. And I use the acronym BADASS just to find out a little bit more about Amanda Williams. So the B in badass is book. What is a book that's made a huge difference in your life?
So I love books, and I narrowed it down to 3. Is that fair?
I want to hear all 3. I love books.
Okay, so the first one was Lean In, Sheryl Sandberg.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first read her book, I was in corporate America. And the funny part is she's telling you how to break the ceiling in corporate America. But what it actually made me do is get the hell out of corporate America. I'm thankful for her book. The next one's Becoming by Michelle Obama. Her story is so inspirational. And, I've said it 2 times today in my personal life. When they go low, we go high. So her story is just everything. And then the last one I actually just read while we were in the DR, and it's Untamed by Glennon Doyle. Oh. And man, she had me at the beach sobbing in my beach chair.
What is it? It's Untamed by who?
Glennon Doyle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's unbelievable. And she just is really talking about, how we're raised as women and the things that we're taught to believe and how we're breaking those barriers, and that it's okay for us to want things and be excited about things and go after things instead of being like selfless and calm and quiet and all of those items. So that book was life-changing for me just 2 weeks ago.
I'm going to have to check that one out. Okay, so the first A in badass is advice. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Ooh, I've ever received. I'm going to go back to Michelle Obama, right? When they go low, we go high.
That's so hard sometimes.
Challenges you every day, right? Yeah, I'm super competitive, and I find a lot of I'm going to call them competitors. A lot of competitors try to take you out at the knees, but just staying above and keeping going, setting your goals, reaching your goals, and staying out of the way.
Perfect. Love it. Okay, the D in badass is drive. What drives you to be successful?
I said this in DR, and some people also call this my negative quality, but man, I just love to make people happy. If I can change your day, I will do anything I can to make that happen. So that's what drives me. It is making my community happy, my staff, my family, my friends. If I can put a smile on your face and you say, I've changed your day, changed your life, even if it's just functional design, right? If I've changed the way your family lives in their house, that's what drives me.
And I saw this firsthand because you were sitting near a young man who was describing a situation where he was not pulling permits properly. And he was going through the whole thing and talking about it, and then it comes to you and you're like, this was a great segue into me because I'm here to help you. And so I witnessed it firsthand how you're able to reach out to people and make a difference. And, because he was just besides himself. He just didn't know what to do. He was really struggling. And you're like, oh, well, let me fix it for you. So I have witnessed it firsthand. The second A in badass is aspiration. And I'm a big goal setter. So what is a goal that you are currently working on?
So I just recently started investing in properties myself.
Nice.
So it is my goal. I have a financial goal. I have a number that I want to hit. And part of that for me is owning an Airbnb outright, 100%. Everything I bring in is profit.
Very nice. What is the number?
It's around 230.
Okay. All right.
And we're quickly approaching, so it's exciting.
That is exciting. I love, we have one Airbnb. I want 10 more, but our one Airbnb, it's a tiny cabin. It's 486 square feet. It is a cash cow. It brings in so much money.
Yeah, so I love Airbnb, and then it's hard when I have to give that money back to something. I just want to buy it and then take the money.
I love it. All right, the first S in badass is systems. And it sounds like you have a lot going on. So I'm sure you have systems in place that help you to achieve success. So give us a couple examples.
I do. So it's kind of funny. I'm a creative brain, right? So my brain is not great at systems. But what I've learned is it's important to surround myself and hire people on my team that keep me accountable, help me put systems in place, and help me follow them. So I would say the most successful part for me is hiring system people who keep me together. But yeah.
That's so important. And that's a great idea. And if you are all over the place like that, you can get even just a VA for dirt cheap to help you get organized. So
yeah,
very, very smart. And the last S in badass is success. What does success mean to you?
Ooh, success literally means to me that I lay my head on my pillow at night and I'm able to close my eyes knowing that I've done everything I can for the day. I've helped as many people as I can. I made everybody happy. I made myself happy. I'm not up fretting, worrying. That's success for me. It's not a number. It's not a money thing. It's a feeling of peace, if you will.
That is awesome. And I can tell that about you, that you ooze success because you are an immediate friend. I'm so glad that we connected. How can before we go, how can my listeners find you if they want to maybe check out some of you? Because you were talking about sending me, one of your listings, but do you have a website where you have some stuff posted so people can check out your work?
Yeah, so we have missiondesignandstaging.com. You can find us on everything, Mission Design and Staging, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok even. I know, right? We're getting hip. It's hard for me, but I have some young staffers that are doing a great job. And then also we have Mission Stays, which is our Airbnb and property management division. So you can find us at Mission Stays on all those platforms as well.
Wonderful. Well, Amanda Williams, you are a rock star. Thank you so very much. And I hope to have you on the show again sometime. And
anytime.
Yes, maybe after my house is finished so that you can say, oh, you really should have done this, Jen. What were you thinking? So thank you, Amanda. That is all. Thanks for listening. And we will catch you on the next episode. Now go out there and share your badassery. And don't forget, make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for listening to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. If you need more badassery, you can follow Jen Josie by visiting therealjenjosie.com or become a member of RAIN by registering on rainmastermind.com.